It's live and we're on the internet. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
And we're here with the cast of Fear the Walking Dead.
Yay!
Hey.
Woo!
Here we are.
Guys, that's real clapping
Yeah.
and internet clapping.
Oh, yes. Hey, guys.
Oh, look at that. They clapped. That's great.
Oh, I get it now.
There's such lovely things being said right now.
I
Yeah.
love doing
Hi.
the
I don't
hello,
understand
everybody.
why people like Alicia.
with an I.
Oui,
Yeah.
c'est moi.
Where's Daniel Sharman? He's not here.
He's on
not
his
here right
way.
now.
He's on his way.
He's doing another interview.
Are we not enough? Is that what you're telling us?
You're enough for me.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hi.
Hi.
Someone said hello, so I said hello back.
Cool.
So, 3 seasons.
Yeah.
You've been there.
Yes.
You've been there.
Yeah.
You're new.
Right.
How is it stepping into the Walking Dead universe?
It's intimidating and exciting. It was a very fast-paced audition, casting, and then moving to Mexico. It was all in the space of 3 weeks for me, so it was very fast and furious. And my first episode was diving straight into a hugely Apocalypse Now-esque episode. So everyone was incredibly welcoming, and it's been just very, very, very easy integrating with this crew. They're very lovely people.
We're lucky. We just get to have really great people, I think.
Yeah, true.
We've
That's
had
awesome.
every single person who's just been lovely.
No, we're excited when we have really talented actors
Yeah.
like Sam come on, and it's just it makes everything easier.
Yeah.
Because we're doing stunts and the
Yeah.
locations, and it just makes it easier. We're a chill group of people. We like to have a good time and laugh and just make our day.
Yeah.
I feel like The Walking Dead is constantly saying, how can we put amazing actors in really stressful terrains, it's the forest in
Yeah.
Atlanta, or it's and you guys got the desert.
We've got the desert.
You got the
We've got a
desert.
few.
Yeah, it's
We
true.
had
got,
the beach though.
You had the beach
We
for
had
a
the
while.
ocean
Yeah, you were on a
as
yacht for a
We were on
while.
a yacht for a while.
I don't know if that's too
But then we got
hardcore.
grit. Then we went straight
Yeah.
to Tijuana and to Mexicali, right? And
Yes,
Tecate.
yes.
Yeah.
So for you guys who've been on the show for a long time, the progression from season 1 to this season is huge.
Yeah.
Right? So how has it been going from basically you're the only characters in the Walking Dead universe to have gone from before the apocalypse
Right.
Yeah.
all the way into the apocalypse? How has the growth of the show been?
I think it's fascinating. I think especially
I mean,
you take our characters and you see so you're on the journey. We're not just waking up in the middle of it, but you're like, hey, this is what was going on right before. And now you see what we're turning into, and the places where we're going are places that are even surprising the characters
Yeah.
themselves, And I never imagined, I was saying this to Kim Dickens, probably the last couple of weeks on set, and to you, I was like, I would never imagine from being in that Ralph Lauren suit
Right.
in season 1 that I would be doing the things that I'm doing now. I never imagined that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, oh, this is a cool character, but I didn't know the character would transform in such amazing ways that I'm excited about, and it challenges you physically, mentally, and emotionally.
And it's so fun too because this is our season where I feel like we finally found our footing. Really as characters, and the story is really, we know what we are, and it's amazing to see a group of people develop in the apocalypse and as people. I feel like The Walking Dead is very much, they're almost superhero-like. They're superhuman in some ways, like Negan, and you've seen them become that. Sorry, you haven't seen them become that. You kind of, Negan shows up and it's this larger-than-life character. But for us, you really see the growth of what happens when someone a school counselor then becomes this warrior, mother, matriarchal figure like Madison. That's a really amazing progression.
Yeah, I mean, I think both you and your character and Kim's character have gone from what I would call relatively normal people
Yes.
with your problems and your baggage to fierce survivors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was a high school
I was a
senior.
high school student.
Right,
exactly,
I was
yeah.
just wanting to get out of LA and enjoy my life.
That's
And the
it.
apocalypse came along, and that was the end of that.
And then that butterfly knife came
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I mean, but also then this character who's gone through so much trauma with, the loss of her boyfriend to start with, but then also having to kill a man, and then Travis's death. I mean, there's so much that then defines that character almost in real time, though. We've seen her progression for 3 seasons, so it's nice to finally get to a place where she is fully fleshed in this apocalypse.
Yeah. No, Travis's death this season was, I think, one of the most shocking deaths on the show.
Yeah.
And the Walking Dead as a universe, across the comics, across the shows, across everything, has always been a world where anyone can go at any time.
Oh, sure.
But with the traditional Walking Dead, with the original show, because of the comics, you kind of are
gauge it,
expecting,
yeah.
and you're expecting someone to die at certain points. On your show, you never know.
No.
I love that we're not beholden to anything, and it can
Yeah.
happen
Yeah.
at any single moment. And so, anytime you read a script, I mean, I remember we always joke, because this is
Oh my
after
God,
Strand
it's so
went through
good, yeah.
several things that happened to him, and then one episode is that, oh my God, I get stabbed.
I know, it's
And
so good.
I was
He
like,
turned to me and
and I
was
really
like,
felt
"Oh my
like,
God, I get stabbed."
is this it? You never know.
Right.
I was like,
It's
what?
well, I got stabbed, so we'll have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Right.
And
there's two outcomes to that.
exactly.
Oh,
and
yeah.
these, in an apocalypse, you catch a cold and you can die.
And sometimes
Right.
you get like a text message from our showrunner this season, Dave Erickson, and if you got a call, it would be like, oh no.
Yeah,
Like,
you're like,
what is this going to be about?
Alicia, give me a call when you get a
I
chance.
was like, what?
Call me,
And
give
then
me a
he's
call.
like, "Oh, I'm
I haven't
lonely and
returned
I
a
want to
call.
go to dinner."
Yeah.
I thought you
like,
killed
hey,
me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of having everyone
Yeah.
over. Do you want to come over? It's
haven't
like,
returned a
hey,
call in
don't
3
do
years.
this to me. Yeah.
You're like, I'm not answering the
No, I'm
phone.
not answering.
Yeah.
Never answering. I have,
No, no,
I
no.
have
Straight to
tolerance.
voice.
I will be
Voicemail.
on that show until they,
Yeah.
they take it away from me with a cold, dead hand.
So the show's coming back in a couple weeks. The second half of season 3. We already know there's season 4 coming, which is also really. It's always really exciting, I think, as a fan to know that like more is going to happen
Yeah.
and not have this limbo of not being sure whether, especially if it ends at a cliffhanger, whether you're going to get resolution. What are you most excited about looking at the next half of the season?
As someone who watched season 1 and 2 and really enjoyed watching these people slowly develop and adapt to this new world, and really being allowed to breathe with them and not having to just watch them kill a lot of infected was really satisfying for me as an audience member, because I love that slow pace. So this season has been so intense and fast that they've ramped it up. So I'm excited to see if they go back to a sense of like, do the characters continue evolving and progressing, or is there an actual end game, like a mission end game to it? And that's the kind of thing that I'm interested to see, because I think these really interesting characters have even further to go with their complexity, and I'm really fascinated to see if where that leads.
I get to have a little Alicia alone time, which I'm really looking forward to. That's great for the second half. There's some really cool kind of, she goes off
Yeah.
on her own journey for a little bit, and that's really exciting.
And Strand has been on his own journey, and now he's going to meet up with some old friends, and that's going to be, it's actually going to lead to a catastrophe. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, what a tease
Oh,
you are.
Nice
that's such a
tease.
tease.
Nice tease.
That's a good
and,
tease.
and that's it. And I'm using that word specifically because it is a catastrophe. What happens? If you think episode 2 was something and how we came out of the gate with losing Travis on the teaser, wait till you get to episode 15 or 16.
Yeah. Oh man.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh. You got
He's
me
good at that.
tease,
That was
right?
good.
Got me
That was
excited.
really good.
Good tease,
guys.
right?
That
You
was
guys
really
teased?
good.
You guys teased about that?
I like almost can't recover from it because now I'm like obsessively thinking about
Yeah.
all the things that could possibly happen.
I said catastrophe. Catastrophe. Yes, that's
Some of these are good questions. There's like,
Yeah.
can you
What?
describe the new season in 3 words?
Ooh.
What? You do it.
If you
Is
do
it
one, and I'll do one, and you
Fisherman?
do one.
Good question,
3
Fisherman.
words.
I would say bold.
Phenomenal.
Oh, these are all like just.
Come on.
I'm gonna. Okay, something like
Sing it.
Sing it.
desperate. No, that sounds bad because that mean I don't mean that.
There's a
as show.
desperation,
There's like
though. There's an intensity.
intensity.
That's good. That's good.
That just sounded bad now.
Oh, so one of the questions earlier from like, so we do these. The Walking Dead has a really intense fan community online that do reaction videos.
Yeah.
And they react every week to the show live, and then like
Oh, that
post
you're
little
watching?
Oh, wow.
cuts.
Watch it?
Yeah, while they watch it. And one of the guys in England, his name is his
Yes.
code name is Trophy Munchers. And
Wow.
he was asking how you guys are enjoying your Comic-Con so far.
I love Comic Con.
awesome,
We
too.
enjoy it a lot. I mean, it's the one event where you really get to do it for the fans, and that's kind of, it gets you pumped and excited, and we get to interact with them, and that's what's so wonderful about it.
And it's San Diego.
Yeah.
There's everything cool about San Diego, and you run into a bunch of old friends here.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
like, It's
true.
really, it feels like, honestly, and I know, I mean, it feels like a love fest, truly.
Yeah.
It feels like you're having a good time. Everyone's here because they love what you're doing.
Right.
We
It's a
love
good
each
energy.
other. Exactly. So it's good. I'm happy.
And it's also like the difference between doing theatre, which a lot of us have done as well, is that you get to have that immediate connection with your audience. So like this is like, you know, we love what we do. So when other people love what we love to do, that's just really, really cool. And like you said, it's for the fans, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it's always exciting to hear when people clap in real life, right, guys?
Right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Is Alicia going to see more action on the show?
Yes.
What do you mean by action?
Yeah, what do you mean by
Yeah,
Oh, that's true.
there's been a going joke this entire Comic-Con about that.
Yeah.
We've got to address some things, don't we?
Talking points.
We get to see Alicia
Oh, yeah.
really,
Kick ass.
kick some ass.
Kick ass.
And handle that butterfly knife with some
What am
real
I supposed to
skill.
give to you?
I mean, she's been teasing that for a while.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there are moments you just see her
yeah.
flipping.
No, there are really good episodes coming up.
I mean,
You're also a really good shot. You saved my life in episode 2 when I'm like, do you know how to use one of these? You're like, yeah. And then you like take
I
out
know.
three infected like headshots. I'm
Like, I feel like in between
I'm really
episodes,
talented.
very talented.
Alicia's just practicing.
Yeah,
Like, she's not hanging out by herself.
I'm an overachiever. She's an overachiever. You know, she's
it's
like
true.
sitting there in the dark. I'll get practice.
I reckon Alicia's the sleeper leader of this whole.
Oh,
I agree.
I make no mistake. Alicia she's a powerful character in motion.
I agree.
She's got some real skills for survival. She's got a medical background. She can handle herself with a knife. She's
I think she's
smart.
got. I think she's got a good heart.
She's got a good heart.
Oh yeah.
She's got her morals in check.
She's still figuring stuff out, but
Oh no,
she'll
she.
get there.
She still will get catfished once
No,
in
no,
a while, but not anymore.
But we start to see how she can use that to her advantage. Like she's
exactly.
her mother's daughter
That's
after
right,
all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's
Oh, I've been thinking of you. I'm ready for people to see it.
Is that? I mean, like, if that would be a really interesting direction if Alicia were to take on a lot more leadership, and then Kim's character was to take on a lot more leadership, and they ended up clashing in a way that, but you never know. Where
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's a
one
good
of
story to
my
pitch.
that's the
good.
thing.
I pitched it. I've been pitched.
Who do I pitch to? Yeah, one of my one kind of storyline I've always envisioned and wished we could do would be either to see Madison and Alicia clash, and like just completely then side two different sides, or come together and be the ultimate like fighting team. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's either all out war or
Yeah.
or like hardcore like Walking Dead Charlie's Angel.
Yes, right.
Who would be the
Well-
third angel? Because Ophelia, I feel like Ophelia's surprise at the end of this half season.
You'll be Charlie.
I'm Charlie.
Yeah, you'd be Charlie.
Hi, girls.
Hi, Charlie. Hi, Strand.
Hello. How are
I
you?
think we have another awesome female actor coming on to the show though as well at some
Ooh.
point down the line.
Don't spill too much.
I don't want to spill anything, but like, I think as a third Charlie.
You guys are just dropping the teaser.
We just like boom.
Like,
mic
there you go,
drops.
third
Boom.
Charlie's
How about that?
Angel.
What if-
Do I always
Wait, that's a
choose
good one.
roles?
Both Nick and Alicia have committed a murder. Is that
true.
going to affect their relationship? Are we going to see them get closer?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a very good question.
How is the murder going to affect
Well,
it?
that's a massive. Right now, well, Alicia and Nick have committed murders separately. There is a moment where we both actually do kind of talk about it, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting scene. I'm not sure how it'll play, but it's two very different sort of styles of murder, I guess. You know, but the one with Madison and Nick, that's interesting because that will really divide the family. I think with Madison, it's all about family comes first, and yet we've come into this ranch, we've built this new family with the people who own it, and then suddenly break them off one by one, and it's at what point is that going too far? And I think for Alicia that really resonates, and I don't think she can commit to that like her mother is. And so Nick and Madison seem to be able to deal with it, but Alicia's not so on board. Like that's interesting too.
It's one of the most interesting things to me about the show because about both of their shows, right? Because it's set in a zombie apocalypse, but it's not about the zombies, and everyone says that. But one of the most interesting to me is sort of this factioning, this system of like we're looking out for our family and our group, but who is our group?
Yeah.
And who is our family?
And your group changes.
And your group changes,
yeah.
and when do you allow it to change? And is there something wrong with somebody when you run into somebody else doing the same thing? But like who's the bad guy?
Yeah.
In
Well,
that
that's
situation?
like the whole scenario between Walker and Madison right now. I mean, they're very much like if we were following the POV of Walker, this family and Madison's family would look like the villains, and vice versa. We're thinking, so I feel like it all depends on what side of humanity you're on.
Right.
What you're fighting for. You're fighting for your livelihood,
Yeah.
your families, your security.
What's also interesting too with our show is that there is not necessarily like a big bad, where there's a lot of very complicated characters
Yeah.
making bad and then worse decisions.
Right.
There's not necessarily a good or bad decision. It's
Yeah.
messy.
We all have
and
the capacity.
You
for
all have the
both.
capacity to be bad and to be good.
And you
So
can-
that's why you can see Madison's perspective. You can see why she would do something like that. You could see why Alicia would do that. You could see why Strand might do that.
Yeah.
And you
Right.
could almost see yourself being in that situation and going, maybe I would do the same.
Yeah. To me, fascinatingly, a lot of it's motivated by fear.
Yes, yes.
And it's like, what are they afraid of? And therefore, they know what the right decision probably is, but they're going to make this one because they're afraid of what might come.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for being
Thank you.
here.
Thank you.
Guys, a round of applause, everybody. For Fear the Walking Dead cast.
Hey, look at this guy.
Surprise guest.
Surprise
see
guest,
you.
everybody.
Hi.
Are we live?
We're still
live.
live.
Still live.
But they can't hear you.
He's right.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back in a little bit with some more awesome content. Fear the Walking Dead is back September 10th, 9 p.m. Check it out. Thank you, guys. Have a great Comic-Con.
Thank you. Bye.
You guys, bye-bye.